Hey guys, I just saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 today, and I got back from the theater like 10 minutes ago. It was in a different city. So, this is gonna be my raw thoughts. It's gonna be a reaction as much as it is a review. And I'm gonna divide this into two parts. One that has no spoilers, so it's gonna be the first half of the video, and then there's gonna be a full length spoiler thing at the end. I might make like a full length video, like a full length review video explaining, breaking down the movie a bit more. Depends on how many views this video gets, and of course this one is filmed in the vertical aspect ratio because I just got back. I'm still wearing my jacket that I wore. So the movie itself, well, it was actually pretty great. Some people are saying that it's the best Marvel movie since Endgame. I don't necessarily agree with that. But having said that, on its own, it's a pretty good movie, and well, it's definitely better than the stinker that Quantumania was for some people. I didn't really dislike Quantumania, but this was way better than that. Was it the best of the trilogy? Well, no, not exactly, but it closes up the trilogy pretty good, and yeah, it's just down to the fact that these actors, like, they've been playing these characters over several years, since like 2014 when the first Guardians movie came out, and in between everything, the holiday special, Endgame, Infinity War, they've just grown into these characters that we love so much. And yeah, it is hard to say goodbye to them. But yeah, without getting any spoilers here, it's not necessarily a goodbye for all of them, or most of them anyway. Having said that, this movie is pretty sad because it delves into Rocket's backstory, and we find out, of course, how he was tortured, and everything about, like, his origin story with Herbert Wyndham and stuff. And it's like really, really tragic. It brought like tears to my eyes multiple times. Like, I was at one point, I was like almost sobbing my eyes out in the theater. My friend was sitting next to me. He probably didn't notice, but like, I was trying not to cry. I mean, it was just so sad. And James Gunn, once again, he proves that he's he's a master at his craft. He masterfully uses music in a diegetic way. So what that means is, of course, the music source is within the film itself. So it's not just something that the audience or the audience target hears. It's something that the characters in the movie hear, and it's been masterfully used in this movie. And not gonna lie, this one was a wild ride. Um, of course, people have been predicting that certain characters will die. I'm just gonna say none of y'all were right. Okay, I'll leave it at that for now. When I get to the spoilers part, I'll explain what I meant by that. Of course, there were character deaths. They didn't affect me that much because I wasn't attached to those characters so much. What I will say here is, though, one of those character deaths did drive one of the character arcs in this story. So for one of the characters in this movie, it did drive, it did drive their motivations throughout the rest of the movie. And as for the new additions in the cast, I forgot his name. Chick something, but the guy who played Herbert Wyndham was like such a menacing villain, and he made it like so hard for you to root for him, to like him. It was just, yeah, bad guy all around. Will Poulter was amazing. I haven't really seen like the other movie that he was in. I when he was a kid. I guess it was We're the Millers. I'm not sure, but I mean, my first time seeing him on screen is I want to see more of him. So that's always a plus. Adam Warlock. I've been hearing he's been made a bit different from the comics, and yeah, I mean, I don't really care. I mean, because this version of Adam Warlock was amazing. The movie does have one F-bomb, so you could say it's canonically the first F-bomb of the MCU. You've had those like concealed like F-bombs in like Infinity War, and like Spider-Man Far From Home. And if you want to take like MCU adjacent stuff, then you have the most popular one, in which I guess Eric Lensher and Charles Xavier visit Wolverine in the bar, and he tells them to go F themselves. Or more recently, you would have like the F-bomb in Venom, Let There Be Carnage, where Venom is just like, fuck this guy, and they just like bite like Carnage's head off. That was, I guess that also counts. But this one, it just felt kind of random. It was just like a random, it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. It was just like From what I've heard, it's because Chris Pratt just like improvised that on set and they decided to keep it in because you're allowed one F-bomb per PG-13 movie. So I suppose that's it. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself and I am getting super excited and I'm also a bit tired. But I'm going to give you guys like 10 seconds before I start the spoiler section because I'm literally bursting with spoilers. So I don't want to spoil the movie for the rest of you guys. There probably is going to be a timestamp in the pinned comment. So you can skip directly to where I like give my rating, overall rating for the movie. So I'm just going to give you guys 10 seconds. Shit, how do I, okay. Set a timer for 10 seconds. Right, so that's your 10-second spoiler countdown. So in about 5 seconds, you guys can either pause the video, come back later, and yep, time's up. Okay, so y'all gone? Perfect. The deaths. So as I was saying, there's like multiple deaths in this movie. Some of them are like low-level henchmen and stuff. It doesn't really matter. One of those deaths, of course, I'm not sure if he died of. My friend told me that yeah, he died. I just think that his face was ripped off, but I'm not sure if he died in the explosion or whatever. But yeah, of course, Herbert Wyndham is dead. He's probably not coming back for any of the movies because he didn't really have any. I mean, his arc is pretty much completed in the MCU anyway. High Priestess Aisha, she gets killed. She gets killed by Herbert Wyndham. In an explosion that he sets off. So this is what sort of drives Adam Warlock to sort of rebel against him and, sort of join the Guardians, and he helps them later on. Yeah. High Priestess Aisha, I mean, I wasn't really attached to the character, so I didn't really care that much for her death, but it did drive forward the overall arc, the overall character arc for Adam Warlock, Will Poulter's Adam Warlock, and again, I cannot stress this enough, Will Poulter is amazing in this movie. Besides that, they bring back a lot of stuff from like previous installments and even like the holiday special, which is at this point required viewing. If you haven't seen it yet, you probably won't understand half the things in the movie. For example, the obelisks, right, from volume 2, they make like really good use of the obelisks in this movie, and sort of Mantis with like her, well, I would call it like the force ability, I guess, like her empath ability. She's sort of able to tame like 3 obelisks at once. And then there's this one really awesome scene where she, Drax the Destroyer, and Nebula, I think, they ride out of like this huge ship on like fucking obelisks. So that was amazing to witness. Besides that, yeah, Cosmo the space dog, Maria Bakalova's Cosmo. Cosmo is pretty great in this movie too, and Sean Gunn's Kraglin. And as I said, deaths, I already mentioned the main deaths. So as I said, High Priestess Aisha and, the bad guy. But surprisingly, none of the Guardians actually die. So people were saying Drax would die, people were saying Rocket would die, and none of them actually do die. Some of them do step away. For example, you get to see this paternal side of Drax I mean, I really wish we could get to see more of that. But like, with Dave Bautista mouthing off like this, I don't know if they're going to bring him back. They might bring him back. I mean, if they throw enough money at him, he'll probably come back for like Secret Wars or something. But yeah, Dave Bautista was pretty good in this movie. And then of course, people thought that Rocket would die. Nah, the guy is actually the new leader of the Guardians of the Galaxy, which was pretty surprising. Gamora, she goes off to join the Ravagers again. Although there's there are like sparks flying again between her and Peter Quill, so there's some promise there. Peter goes back to Earth to his old grandpa who's still alive somehow. So yeah, I didn't really catch what they said at the end of the post-credit scene, but it was okay. The mid-credit scene, of course, you get to see the new team, if you will, of Guardians. So you got you got Rocket, you got a Groot, Swole Groot, by the way, he's amazing, and he does have one line in this movie which is like not "I am Groot." He says "I love you guys," and my friend was like, "Oh, he can talk." So yeah, that was pretty amazing. So you got Groot, you got Rocket, you got this one kid that they pick up right from Herbert Wyndham's facility. She's all grown up. You got Adam Warlock, and I guess you got Yondu. Sorry, not Yondu. I keep saying Yondu. I mean Kraglin, Sean Gunn's Kraglin. So these, I guess, are the new members of the Guardians of the Galaxy, the new Guardians, so to speak. You do get a cameo from like Stuttgart Ogord, so Sylvester Stallone Stuttgart Ogord, and you get like the one Social Supreme guy. You also get Mainframe, but I don't believe they had like any speaking lines from Miley Cyrus this time around. It's kind of disappointing. You do get more of Howard the Duck, so that's always nice. There was this like really nice bar scene with Howard the Duck, Maria Bakalova's Cosmo the Space Dog, and Sean Gunn's Kraglin, and there's this running gag where he calls her a bad dog and he won't take it back until the very end, and he's like, yeah, she's a good dog, and then she's sort of just, crushes one of like Wyndham's minions. So that was pretty good to witness. Okay, now this is probably the timestamp in the video where I'm gonna give my final thoughts and my overall review. So this movie was amazing. Was it the best Guardians movie? Probably not, but it was probably the best way they could have ended this trilogy, and I'm super, it just warms my heart to see this come to fruition. And as a movie, I would rate it 8 out of 10, a solid 8 out of 10. And as a closing chapter to this trilogy, well, I'm sorry, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. It doesn't go any lower than that. This movie is absolute cinema. It's a masterpiece, and you should watch it, regardless of whether you're a diehard Marvel fan or not. So yeah, I gotta catch my breath. I probably won't be editing this video much. It's gonna be uploaded as it is from my phone. But yeah, pretty fucking amazing movie. So yeah, go see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 when it comes out in theaters in your country. So that's the 5th for the US, I believe, and might be later for other countries. The Netherlands, it was the 3rd, that was today. So the first day I went, it was pretty good. So yeah, see you guys next time on Charioteer's World. Peace. Oh yeah, and probably no outro too. But yeah, have a good one, guys. May the force be with you.